Hi, this is Chef Renee of Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee, and today we are going to be making salmon, pan-seared salmon. We're also going to add to that a lemon cream sauce. Yum! We're also going to add to that some of the summer favorite vegetables along with roasted vegetables and couscous. Let's get started. All right, first we are going to get our pan out for the vegetables that we'll be cutting up later. We're going to do some roasted vegetables, and we want to get those in the oven so that they'll be nice and a little charcoal, not too much for us when we're ready. Also, I've got on the stove, because I wanted to bring it to a boil, I have about a 1 1/4 cup of water. Feel free to use chicken stock, seafood stock, whatever it is you like. And I'm going to bring that up to a boil. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And that is the water for our couscous. So we're going to put the couscous on. When you're making couscous, and I'm going to be using today Israeli, a tricolor Israeli couscous. And it's just beautiful here, smaller than the fine grain couscous, which I love as well. But you want to get the water really hot. Then we're going to pour the couscous in, bring it back up to a boil, and we're going to put the lid on, and then we will just leave it alone for about 10 minutes. Take it off, fluff, we are good to go. Then I'm going to get out the lid so that we can add the couscous. The water is already boiling, and remember, with a little bit of salt, going to add the couscous in. And we're just going to bring that back up to a boil. It should be really quick since the water's already boiling and it's not as though the couscous was cold. So it's going to come up to a boil really quick. And then I'm going to put the lid on, turn down the heat a little, and leave that alone. So let me move this out of the way. And what I will get started on is where I'm going to show you how to cut up the vegetables for the roasted vegetables that we'll do. And I have here a zucchini and a yellow squash. And you could use any other vegetables that you like. I just happen to like these. And I really wanted to show you how easy it can be to have fresh corn, that you don't have to buy the canned corn. Now, of course, you can always stand the corn up and take your knife and run it down and cut the kernels off. That works just fine. And in fact, I used to do it for years until I found my kernel remover here. And there are lots of different kinds out there, but I like this one. Let me check on the couscous. And we are boiling. There, I'm going to put the lid on. I've turned that down so that the couscous could go ahead and finish. I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's all done. All right. Now, I'm going to take the corn. Let's put that over there. I'm going to take the corn off of here. And you're going to be amazed at how easy this is. Look at that. Fresh corn. You do not have to have it out of the can. There's nothing wrong with the can. Well, it has sodium for preservatives, but here is a way to have fresh corn, and you can just take it right off the ear. There we are. Very easy. Easy peasy. There we are. So now that I have my fresh corn, I'm going to scoop and put it right onto the pan. And you say that that pan is dry, and it is dry, but it won't be dry for long. All right, so we have the corn out of the way. Let me wipe off my hand, wipe that up a little bit. And let's go to the yellow squash. I'm going to just take the tip off and the end. And I'm going to cut here just because it's easy for me to stand the yellow squash up. I'm going to cut in quarters. There we are. And then I'm just going to lie them down and cut them. And this doesn't have to be a uniform cut per se. It's completely up to you. If you're serving it in a restaurant, you may want it a little neater. Put that aside. I'm going to do the same here. Now, sometimes with the yellow squash, you can get a really large portion at the bottom that has really heavy seeds, which hold a lot of the water. Just cut it right off, and you can use it for something else. You can eat it, you can put it on salad, you can use it for something else. Just wanted to show you that. So I'm going to chop these up really quick. Oop. And there we have all of our yellow squash, and now I'm going to cut the zucchini up. And I'm going to do the zucchini the same way that I've done the yellow squash. And there, we have all of our vegetables cut up that are going into the oven. Now, we're going to add a little bit of salt, not a lot, but a little bit just for flavoring. And we're going to add some fresh ground pepper. And you know I love the fresh ground pepper. And I'm going to use a garlic infused oil. And this is olive oil. Now you can do this with your hands or you can use a spatula. I'm going to use my hands and just mix that all up. And I have one other thing I want to add to that. And let me put these aside to use for later. And the other thing I want to add is just a few, because you know I love eating colors. I'm going to chop up some orange bell pepper, just a little bit for color. Isn't that beautiful? Taste the rainbow. All right, so now we are going to pop this into an oven at a temperature of about 375 to 400, depending on where your rack is in the oven. I recommend just below the midway mark, the middle of the oven, for about 10 to 15 minutes in the oven. Now, and we're looking for them to be, like I said, a little dry, but not too dry. If they don't have the charcoal color, which is a nice flavor, just adjust your oven to broil, bring them up, and for about 10 seconds have them under the broiler. So that's what we're going to do with this. We are going to take a break, and I'm going to put these in the oven. I'm going to get our couscous off because I am certain it is done, and we'll get started with our salmon and our vegetables and our lemon cream sauce.
Seafood lemon cream sauce. First, melt 2 tablespoons of butter in a pan. Next, add 2 tablespoons of flour and whisk. Whisk until well combined. Next, add 3/4 cup of seafood stock and a 1/4 cup of heavy cream to pan. Have reserved seafood stock on hand in case needed. Remove pan from heat. Add 1 teaspoon of lemon zest and 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon juice. Add a half teaspoon of salt and a pinch of pepper. And whisk. Put your seafood lemon cream sauce into a gravy bowl. Garnish with parsley. And there you have your seafood lemon cream sauce.
Welcome back. We have our water boiling. We are going to get started on blanching. I'm going to blanch first the tomatoes and then pull those out. You know what? I'm not going to blanch the tomatoes first. I'm going to blanch our green vegetables first. And we're just going to blanch them quickly. I thought I lost one, but maybe I didn't. We're going to blanch and shock them. Blanching is just immersing whatever it is that you have in hot water, and shocking is putting them into the cold ice water, which will halt the cooking immediately. So that's blanching and shocking. Now, we can also blanch potatoes, but you don't want to blanch them in water. You want to blanch them in oil, like for French fries or something like that. But we're blanching and shocking them so that that's sort of partially cooking them, and then stopping the cooking process so that we can do something else with them or do something with them later. So we have those out. Now let's put in our other peas. So we got sugar snap peas and we have snow peas. And I'm going to take something, dish out that we can put everything in there. And like I say, it's just a few minutes. Now, I am blanching and shocking them separately so that you can see what we're doing. But it's okay if you were to put the snow peas and the snap peas in the pot together, no problem. All right, and these are ready. We're gonna stop the cooking on those. Another good thing about blanching and shocking vegetables is you can do this on the weekend and have your vegetables ready for the week. So that is fantastic. Now, I'm just going to use the same water to blanch and shock the tomatoes in. But you may want to change it. That's completely up to you. But since I have that rolling boil or roaring boil, which is it, right? I'm just going to take advantage. These only take a few seconds. And the reason that I'm doing that is to get the tomatoes hot on the inside. And now, if you wanted to peel the tomatoes, you certainly could. This is how you would do it. You simply cut an X in the bottom or the top of the tomatoes and put them in boiling water for just a few seconds. And then the peel will actually start to come off by itself. And you just pull it the rest of the way off. That's a very good, tip for you if you wanted to peel, let's say, plum tomatoes or something else. Now, those were my red grape tomatoes. Now I'm going to do yellow grape tomatoes. And it really doesn't matter which tomatoes you use, that's your choice. But just remember not to have them in for too long. Now, I have here some orange bell peppers, and I love the colors of the rainbow. So I have those here, but I'm not going to blanch the tomatoes and the bell pepper. The reason I'm not going to blanch that is because I don't want to lose any flavor of them. So I'm going to leave those just as is. Now, if you wanted to bump up the flavor even more, you could, of course, grill these, or you could put them in the broiler, and you'll get that same effect, that same flavor and everything. So I've turned that off because we're all done with this. I'm going to clear this out of the way, and then I'm going to saute the vegetables. And they've been blanched and shocked with the exception of the orange bell peppers. But aren't these just beautiful? I love the color of all of them. We are just going to do a quick saute because we don't want them cooking or overcooking. So we're going to do a quick saute. And our pan is hot. We have some oil in it. And I literally can just dump everything in there. What you want to be careful of is that you don't pour water into it, because remember, there's oil in the pan. Isn't that just beautiful? Now, as you can see, some of the peel is coming off of the tomato, but that is perfectly fine. I'm going to leave it just like that because it gives it a little translucent color, and I like that. We're going to add the peppers in, just a little. Oh, we'll use all of them. And I'm going to add a little salt. And a little pepper. Fresh ground, nothing beats it. All right. And I'm going to use my wooden spatula here. Now, you know how much I love a sizzle. Is that a sizzle or what? And all of these things we can eat raw. They don't have to be cooked. I only blanched and shocked them to make the colors really vibrant and to get them partially on their way. But this saute is just a quick saute to try to get some of the flavors to rub together, you know, kind of hang out. Isn't that just beautiful? Now, I have turned off my burner. And I've turned it off because, like I say, they're already finished. That's perfect. So now that we have that done, we have our vegetables out of the way, we shall get started on the salmon. Now, I'm using a cast iron because I want a nice sear on it. So I've let it get hot, and I'm going to add in my oil. And now I can bump that up a little bit more. And I have these nice chunks of salmon. You can use whatever fish you'd like, or you can even use chicken or pork, whatever it is that you like. I think pork loin, boneless, would be nice with this too. So I have those here. I'm just going to add, I have two seasonings that I'm going to add. I have a little bit of Old Bay right here. Oh, those look and smells just wonderful. And remember, I used garlic infused olive oil. So I've even got a little extra. And I have some lemon pepper here. And I'll tell you why I chose lemon pepper. Let's add a little bit more oil. I see that it's moving around there. and a little bit here. All right. We have got that going. Now, what's going to happen when I put the salmon on is we're going to get, of course, our sizzle, but also the lemon pepper is going to give it a nice dark charcoal, because that's just acid. It's just dried lemon. And that's what we want. Now, because I'm using cast iron and it's even heating, I'm going to go ahead and put all the salmon in. If it were not a cast iron and I knew it wasn't heated all the way around, I would not put all the salmon in there, because you don't want to overcrowd your pan, because it will make the temperature of the pan drop. But since I have a cast iron and these are small pieces, I'm going to put them all in. Now, so that we avoid any cross-contamination of the seafood, I am going to put the vegetables onto a plate while we wait for the salmon. How beautiful is that? Let me turn that around the other way. How beautiful is that? What a quick, easy way to impress your friends and family. So we have our vegetables away and out of sight. Let's check our salmon. See how easily I picked that up? And if it doesn't come up, don't force it. Just go to another piece. And I'm moving and tilting the pan because I just want to make sure everything gets a little oil. Now, while it's on this side, I'm also going to add another flavor component. Oh, good. That one's ready. And I'm trying to pick up the salmon from the sides so that we can keep the shape. Now, the other component that I'm going to add to this is I've made a herbed butter, and that has garlic in it, dill, parsley, and a little fresh ground black pepper. And I'm going to add a little bit of the herbed butter into the pan. There we are. How beautiful is that? Here I have some of the herb butter I've made, and I'm going to add just a little to the pan. Let me get a little. Now, I'm going to remove the salmon from that burner, although that burner is now off and it's all good. I'm going to let the salmon rest for just a moment. We can finish it in the oven, but it really is already done. But if you have a warm oven on, just pop it into the oven. I'm moving the pan around so that some of that herbed butter gets on every piece. That is fabulous. We are now going to take a break, and when we come back, we will finish up the entire meal with a lemon cream sauce. You are going to love it. Hi, I'm Chef Renee of Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee. And thanks to you, we've expanded and are now aired on several different networks. Check your local listings to find out when you can tune in to Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee. And thanks for watching. Welcome back. And now is my favorite part. It's eating. Yay! I'm going to make us a nice plate. First, what I'd like to do is take some of the sauce. Now, we have the seafood lemon cream sauce, which is delicious, in our gravy dish, but I also have put some into the my squirt, and I'm going to put some of the sauce on the bottom of the plate. That way, with every bite, there is something. Isn't that just beautiful? You do it however you'd like. We have that there. Then, remember our roasted vegetables? Well, the reason I wanted the roasted vegetables was so that I could give my plate some height. That way, it has height, depth, width, color, everything for a plate presentation. So I have some of our roasted vegetables. And here is our Israeli couscous, just fabulous. I'm going to go ahead and put that around. There we are. And that way, with every bite, we're going to get some of the sauce. Next, we're going to get some of our vegetables. Let me bring this plate up here. Isn't this a lovely, colorful plate, which is exactly what you want? We have all the different seasons which produce all different flavors of food, and I think you should try that. So here, we're going to make sure we are getting some of everything. There we are. And the star of the show, the salmon. Now, I'm going to put a piece there and another piece here. And here we have our wonderful pan-seared salmon with our couscous and our sauteed vegetables, which are just beautiful seasonal vegetables. I have paired this with a wonderful white wine. You can pair it with whatever you'd like. Enjoy. I can't wait to dig in here. Ooh, yay. Delicious. I want to thank all of my sponsors today. I want to thank you for allowing me into your home and welcome you back again to Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee. Thanks, and I'm going to enjoy this. I'll see you next time.
Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee is sponsored by Red Tail Heart and Borath Cookware. We would like to thank Billings Forge Community Works for their ongoing community support.